Republican Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis of New York. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. Are there any Democrats left in their party that want this to end? I mean, do you see the shutdown ending this month at all?
I think Republicans are going to have to act on our own to get it done. Sadly, we tried to be bipartisan about this. We did actually come up with a bipartisan piece of legislation that the Democrats agreed to, and then they pulled back at the 11th hour, and that is why we had this shutdown. And sadly, it is critical at this time. Sadly, we're seeing Senator Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, both from New York, and understand the importance of this department created after September 11th. Here we are on the 25th anniversary, and they refuse to fund this agency at a time when there's the conflict in the Middle East. We have individuals in our country who are dangerous, who need to be removed, and they don't want to fund those very agencies that are tasked with removing those individuals. When you have the events we have coming up, whether it's the World Cup or America 250, this is obviously very concerning. And so I think we're done giving them chances to work with us. We're going to have to do this on our own. Remember, what they wanted was changes to ICE. I mean, we got rid of the person who ran the organization. Plus, they've made significant changes under Tom Homan, and you see a real de-escalation in the streets of the various cities. So what else do they want? I mean, they're telling us now that they don't want to fund Border Patrol or immigration enforcement at all, which is obviously a non-starter for us because we believe we need to keep the American people safe. And just over the last few weeks, we saw people murdered, DUI, killed an individual, as well as that senior citizen, a veteran, shoved on the tracks of New York City who died, all at the hands of people in this country illegally.
Yeah, Congressman, speaking of misplaced Democrat priorities, so the left's new focus right now also seems to be stopping the war with Iran. You got Democrats who want to impeach the president. They want to use the 25th Amendment to remove him from office. They say he committed war crimes, and now they're attacking the ceasefire. I mean, where does it stop?
Yeah, I mean, you really got to question their motives. This is pure politics. Anything to undermine President Trump, who is doing his best to keep Americans safe and strengthen our hands on the world stage. They're constantly undermining him at every turn. And, even with a ceasefire, they're still not satisfied, and they want to invoke the 25th Amendment. What's really interesting here is that the president has done everything he can to work with Iran in a diplomatic manner. The reason why this offensive started was because Iran was not negotiating in good faith. Here, the president is giving them an opportunity. You have three options, right? Military, economic, and as well as diplomacy. And the president is using all of them, and we're hopeful that Iran will come to the table, though obviously all of us need to be skeptical. But with the central command removed, the impact that this has had to Iran's military, naval, air force, as well as the impact it's having on their manufacturing capabilities, I think that they are in a much, much, much weaker position today, which is why the president's giving them another chance under diplomacy to come to the table and negotiate. And we'll see what happens Saturday when those talks take place.
Yeah, great point. I want to turn now to New York. So Mayor Mamdani, he's come up with this new racial equity plan, trying to push for a more equitable future. What is this all about?
Well, obviously, with everything with Mamdani, it's always about socialism. It's always pitting people against each other based on race. And it's awful, actually. Look, this is what communists do. This is what socialists do. They always pit people against each other, whether it's a class warfare or racial warfare, dividing the community. And we're going to push back on this. Obviously, it's unconstitutional. We've seen the Democrats do this. They are constantly using race to force their socialist agenda, whether it's denying voter ID for the American people, whether it's trying to redraw lines like they tried to do to me based on race. Now, trying to tax people based on race. I mean, you can't get any more unconstitutional and un-American than that. And we're going to push back. The bottom line here is not just minorities are being forced out of our city. It is everybody that's in the middle class, working class. They're being pushed out of our city regardless of race because of these socialist policies and this high taxation. And we're going to make sure the public knows about it. And if DOJ needs to take action, if they want to go down this unconstitutional route, I believe they should.
Yeah, at the same time, he's canceling the public ball drop for America 250, making it a private event. That's what a communist would do. All right, Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, great to see you this morning. Thanks.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.